Imagine your typical Uber experience. You take out your phone, tap on the app, and wait for no more than 5 minutes before you hop in what's usually a Prius. Then, for the next 10 to 15 minutes, you are stuck in a car with a stranger and try to avoid awkwardness by engaging in some small talks or not talking at all. And finally, when the trip is over, you get out and say goodbye to the drivers whom you probably won't ever see again. And next time, when you call Uber, you repeat the same pattern, hopping in, hopping out. Just sounds as linear from going point A to point B. But what if I tell you today that there's a chance that we can break the mundane pattern and transform our Ubering experience into something meaningful, fun, and even addictive? After taking 5,000 Uber rides during the past 4 years, I'm here to tell you today that yes, there's a possibility. You see, as an international student, I have to use Uber a lot in order to get around. Back in high school, I Ubered to school in the morning, I Ubered back home in the afternoon. I Ubered to practice, I Ubered to rehearsal, I Ubered everywhere before the song Uber Everywhere even came out. Now, in college, I meet about 10 to 12 different Uber drivers each week. And each time when I'm in an Uber, I seize the opportunity to have fun and deep conversation with Uber drivers. Over time, I grew so fascinated by their life stories and wisdom that I even decided to start a little blog about it. But before I became such an Uber addict who was open to strangers, I was not a writer who would be willing to engage in conversation with drivers. As a student enrolled in competitive high school, I had a task-driven mind, which only cared about completion and efficiency, how fast I'm going to get there, how short the trip is going to be, not the journey itself. But after so many Uber rides, I realized that over time, I stopped viewing my back seat as my personal void and began participating in conversation with those Uber drivers. And I started to reflect on those 5,000 Uber conversations on my private time. And upon my reflection, I found a huge difference between what I would call a Uber station and our normal conversations. You know, like the ones that we might have had with our friends in the morning, with our professor in the afternoon, or our parents last night. And the difference is that an Uber station happens just for the sake of conversation itself, while most of our daily interactions might happen because of an ulterior motive. What do I mean by that? So on campus, on this WashU campus, on average, around 30,000 words are exchanged between us and others daily. But many of those words serve to communicate a purpose or goal. We go to our professor office hours. Maybe we just want to get some points back on an exam. We'll ask for a rec letter. Yeah, you're nodding, right? We talked to our parents last night. Maybe we just want to get our holiday plan figured out. We use conversation as a tool or medium to get what we want, to get things done. And we use it so often that we start to lose our ability to appreciate the conversation itself. While I do think purposeful communication is a necessary part of our daily life, it should be balanced out by conversations that are just completely purpose-free. Through those 5,000 laid-back, carefree Uber conversations, I discovered conversation's beauty, intrinsic quality. I learned that through those Uber conversations, you can discover the most genuine form of conversations. An Uber station happens when the life of two complete strangers intersects in a confined space of a car. And it grows as two strangers share and converse with no ulterior motive. The conversation is driven by genuine curiosity and the interest in another human being, which can make our life more interesting and exciting. Without curiosity, I would have never found out that the driver sitting right next to me was actually a billionaire in his modest Camry, and would have therefore missed an important lesson that he taught me on humility. Without curiosity, I would have never been able to meet this cancer patient who drove Uber to experience world and also embody life and vitality. Without curiosity, I would have never been able to find out the Black community living in suburban Cincinnati. Without curiosity, I would have never been able to listen to the music album, a rap album actually, an Uber driver gave me that allowed me to appreciate the fact that an Uber driver can also have a music dream. Uber facilitates our fast-paced lives by transporting us from point A to point B. But also, more specifically, Uber stations can also slow us down. It allows us to take a moment in our hurried lives and refresh our mind with the light of another human being. Through these meaningful exchanges, you might encounter a driver who became a life mentor of yours, giving you life and career advice in exchange for lessons on Chinese. Or you may even get a grocery buddy to go to Whole Foods with. Or, if you get lucky, you might find someone who will be willing to teach you how to drive with his own Mercedes. And you will never know that one day you'll get on the TEDx talk and your driver will be in the audience for a TEDx speech. Being curious is very easy. It's simply a choice between the front and the back seat. Thank you.